Welcome to another top 5 guys. Enough days have passed for us to really see how the meta is forming after the latest huge balance patch. So in this video we're gonna check out 5 of the best decks, talk about their mulligans, win rates, as well as some general tips so you know how to play with and against them. And we're also gonna talk about all of the other working archetypes so you know what the meta is. Hope you enjoyed the video, and if you do, a like and subscribe would really be appreciated. And now, let's get into the video.
You are not prepared!
By the way, I'm doing a giveaway over at my Raid Shadow Legends channel, so if you want to get involved into that one, you can check out my How to Build Champions in Raid video and follow the instructions. I would really appreciate it if you really do check out the channel, and maybe even check out the game, because Raid Shadow Legends is far better than you guys might think. I know a lot of people talk down on it, but honestly, give it a try and see for yourself. The game is far more than what you might expect. It's a lot deeper, like you can't even imagine how deep some of the strategies in this game go, and the artwork and graphics on a game you could be playing on your phone as well as on your PC is just out of this world. Some of these champions look absolutely amazing, and yeah, you really need to know what you're doing with them to get the most out of them, because there's a lot of things you need to be paying attention to in order to actually build them the right way and get all the right stats. So if you want to support the channel, you can actually download the game from my download link or QR code on screen to get your hands on some amazing legendary champions as well as one top tier epic. Hope to see you there. By the way, if you guys also want to be having HS Replay in this awesome dark theme, you could be using this Night Eye browser extension, and it turns it into this very pleasant to the eye dark theme. Do let me know in the comments if you guys prefer the theme instead of the original white one. This one definitely is a lot easier on my eyes, I can tell you that much. Anyway, the first deck on the list is actually going to be this new Big Demon Hunter, which is abusing the Cliff Dive as well as a bunch of big demons. I haven't actually seen this deck on ladder myself, but the stats are definitely super high from Diamond to Legend for the last 3 days, so it's definitely nothing to scoff at, and I might actually give it a try tomorrow on stream, so be on the lookout for that. But yeah, it basically kind of plays out in the early turns like the Armor Demon Hunter used to, with a bunch of stall mechanics, until you can actually start doing the Cliff Dive shenanigans. And you do have a very big Illidari Inquisitor in here, as well as a Briar Spawn Drake, Mecterodon, that kind of stuff. So yeah, it's kind of cool like this. And you have a bunch of weapons in here so you can actually ensure your Illidari can go face when you pull it. This new weapon definitely sounds interesting in a deck like this. And you also have the Tusk Piercer, so you can ensure you have something cheap to equip and slap face with. I mean, then again, you also could Hero Power, but this way you could be doing this as soon as turn 5 with the help of Cliff Dive, let's say. We also have things like Dangerous Cliffside, and a lot of extra damage from hand. Matchup wise, here's what we can see. Imbue Druid apparently is not going to be your friend, but it's not that popular, so climbing definitely should not be an issue with this one. As for the mulligan, here's what people have been holding on to. Going first, they are looking for the weapon, for the Grim Harvester, the Fate Trickster, which is also a Death Rattle minion, which does draw you the Cliff Dive, which is super good. And you can also consider holding on to Cliff Dive straight up, unless you already have this guy or the weapon, let's say. You can also hold on to some of this stuff, some card draw. The Illidari ain't too bad, but the rest probably not so hot. And on the coin, again, it's literally the same thing, so mulligan accordingly. For other good Demon Hunter decks, we can even see things like Menagerie Demon Hunter picking up steam, but this is the deck I showed you, almost 2,000 games, almost 60% win rate, definitely pretty awesome. Crewmate Demon Hunter is also up there, sitting around 58 with about 1,000 game sample size, and the rest is basically iterations of those. Armor Demon Hunter doesn't seem to be a deck anymore, which I think is a good thing. On the number 2 spot, we also have Menagerie Death Knight, and yeah, a lot of decks have realized how strong the Jug is. Basically, everybody's trying to abuse that in these kinds of Menagerie decks. And this is a pretty quick one. You basically curve out nice and quick, and around turn 4, turn 5, you drop a Jug, which gives you basically 12 worth of stats on the board if you have 3 different tribes ready. The deck has a couple of legendaries with Zephyrus and Eliza, but Zephyrus is from a mini set, so that's not exactly a expensive thing to be getting. You have things like Ghoul's Night Out, Horizon's Edge, so you can actually abuse all of those small shits. So yeah, definitely a nice quick deck for you to be climbing with. For the matchups, we don't really have stats just yet, and there's no similar decks, so this one is a little bit on the low sample size side, but definitely is showing promise, and it's very cheap, so you could be trying it and see if you like it yourself. Mulligan wise, we can see basically you're trying to curve out with the good 1-2 freeze. Well, not really freeze, but you get it. get the cheaper stuff, and if you already have a good curve, you could consider the more expensive stuff like Eliza or Horizon's Edge. And on the coin, again, it's kind of the same thing, but here I'd say Eliza is even better, because you could do a turn 3 Eliza into a turn 4 Ghoul Knight out, even though you don't straight up look for it, but it could be a pretty massive play. With Death Knight, we can see plenty of other iterations of even different archetypes, like Leech Death Knight, for instance, is super strong right now. I did try this deck last night. It's not very quick, but it's pretty efficient, and it does short work of all of these Menagerie decks out there. This one is a triple blood. We can also see different iterations with Unholy in it. Some also even run Frost, all sorts of different things. But yeah, Death Knight is in a decent spot right now. You do have plenty of options to go for. The Starship Death Knight is also actually pretty strong, if not stronger than a Leech. Next up, we have a pretty interesting rogue deck, actually. This is a core rogue, or a pirate rogue more like it, and it's a super cheap deck. The only legendary in here is Sheldrassil, and it's not even integral to the deck's game plan, I think, even though you could do some nice shenanigans with it. I did try it last night on stream, and we almost won every single game we played with it, so it's definitely super strong. And you can do a lot of broken things with this one. You have a lot of card draw thanks to the Toy Boat, because you also have a lot of ways to actually dish out extra pirates with things like Bargain Bin that summons 2 extra with the help of Lucky Comet. You could also get free pirates with the new water cannon weapon, which is pretty nice. So card draw usually is not really an issue with this one. You can do broken things like give your pirates Wind Fury with the Hosen +1/+1s. You can make the 1/1 pirate that can go face from the water cannon into a 5/5 thanks to the Crystal Cove. You can also get free 5/5s thanks to the Bargain Bin. So yeah, the deck is definitely very capable of doing a lot of nasty things. And I think you also are still able to actually corrupt Sheldrassil with the help of Sandbox Scoundrel, but I'm not exactly sure how. If somebody is more versed with this BS in the comments, do let me know. And also do let me know if you want a dedicated guide about this deck. I might be doing a video about it soon. For the matchups, this one does not have that much stats, but we can check a similar variant. This one, for instance, with the Foxy Fraud. And here we can see some of the Death Knights are not going to be great for you. The rest is kind of 50-50, aside from Big Demon Hunter, which is also going to be a problem, but everything else is green or close to 50. And as for the mulligan, here's what it looks like. Dig for Treasure is nice, Lucky Comet is great, the location is pretty awesome, Bargain Bin Buccaneer, just don't forget you gotta actually combo this guy to get extra copies out of him. Foxy Fraud is also pretty good, and a great way to actually combo Bargain Bin on 3 or 2 if you have the coin, or a coin thanks to the Dig for Treasure. The Toy Boat could be a consideration, Raiding Party with Prep could be MVP, the rest probably not so hot. And on the coin, again, plenty of the same stuff. Here, even things like Prep Dubious could make some sense, even though not so much with this one. The Raiding Party would be much better. We can also see plenty of different iterations of Protoss Rogues still running rampant. There's also this Asha main rogue doing quite well with very small sample size, however, which is kind of interesting. Bounce rogues are also doing quite well, and we are seeing even asteroid rogues here and there, but they're not as strong as they used to. I guess people just gave them a try and realized they're not as strong as they used to be. On the number 4 spot, Menagerie Pally is also doing pretty well, and it is actually doing better than the Tree Pally we have been seeing plenty of. I did give you guys a gameplay video about Menagerie Pally yesterday, so you might want to check it in action. It's a similar list, even though this one is running things like Dreambound Raptor, which definitely makes a lot of sense. We also have a single Trinket Artist in this one, which also does make the deck curve out a little bit faster. The Ursin Maul helps you draw a bit faster as well. And yeah, it basically is a deck that reminds me a lot like Flood Pally used to be. It is abusing things like Crusader Aura and Flash Sale, and we're also using the new Mother Duck, which could be a monster of a card if you've actually set up Crusader Aura into a Mother Duck with free rushers. You basically get a bunch of extra free 2s that get to rush, which is pretty strong. The Zeliax in here is a ticking module plus pylon module, so you can actually buff out the wide board you have. And you are still abusing the Menagerie aspect with the help of the Jug, and you have plenty of tribes in this one. I'd say the Toref Unbreaking is not the most important card in the deck, but it does probably make it a little bit better, so if you have it you could include it, but if you don't you can definitely try the deck without it. So Captain Therum, he is definitely a monster of a card, so I would really prefer having it if I'd be trying this deck. For the matchups we can see only Leech Death Knight is not going to be your friend, and yeah, this deck does struggle with control matchups, so keep that in mind, but the rest is pretty good. Wise, you're trying to curve out with the good 1s and 2s, and if you're curving out, even 3s and 4s might make some sense. And don't keep too many 1-drops. In the end of the day, your hand is gonna be empty a lot sooner than you would like if you keep a bunch of 1-drops, so be careful doing too much of that. As for on the coin, again, plenty of the same stuff, so keep that in mind. For other good Pally decks, obviously 3 Pally is also pretty strong. Here's the one I showed you, 1200 games, 57 win rate from Diamond to Legend for the last 3 days. Whereas the 3 Pally drops with a whole percent. A lot more sample size on a lot of these decks, but still. I'd say the Menagerie Pally is a lot easier and a lot cheaper to try, so you definitely might want to give it a go. There's also other iterations of Menagerie Pally. This one is abusing Ursol and the tree again, which is kinda interesting. But the rest is basically iterations of these two. And on the last spot, we still have Zarimi Priest as a great option for you to be hitting easy legend with, and you can definitely check out my detailed guide about this one plus gameplay. The deck really felt super broken, and as you notice, this one has a lot more expensive dragons than we would like to remember, and the reason behind that is because we have Narrowlex in here, which allows you to do some very nasty things with the help of Ysera giving you free mana back, and you also get to play a couple of Briar Spawn Drakes, maybe even Zarimi, get an extra turn, and really kick in the opponent's teeth. We also have a good amount of control tools here with a couple of fly off the shelves, with a repackage. Some lists even ran things like Shadow Word Ruin, but I thought that was not a great card, and as you see, the better decks now don't really run it. And yeah, you basically have a good amount of curve with early game dragons. The Illusory Green Wing definitely feels super strong. We have some card draw with the help of Ancient of Yore, as well as with the Scale Replica. All around, it's a pretty pleasant deck to be playing with, not so much to play against though, let's be honest. For the matchups, we can see Pallies are not going to be great. Menagerie Death Knight is too quick in most cases. Buff Hunter, Zerg Hunter, and Fishing Priest are also a problem. Core Rogue, Proto Stroke, so it's kind of a polarizing matchups kind of situation, but it is still very far from a 50% win rate, so again, you should be climbing with ease with this one. For the mulligan going first, you're going to be looking for the cheaper dragons, for the card draw, for Illusory Green Wing, Birdwatching ain't bad, depending on the matchup, fly off the shelves might make sense. And heck, if you're curving, even Narrowlex might make sense, but be careful, because there are plenty of rats in Death Knights nowadays, and other faster decks are not gonna wait around for either Narrowlex. As for on the coin, it's basically the same thing, and here Narrowlex is even a bit more keepable, because you could do it as soon as turn 7 here, because you coin out Narrowlex on 7, plus 1 mana Ysera, and then you start blasting. Priest also has some faster options than Zarimi Priest, like things like Fishing Priest is out there again, but as you see, we have several iterations of 60-ish% win rate Zarimi Priests, and a lot more around 57, so it's definitely super strong. The Fishing Priest is also at a close second here, if we gotta be completely honest, and it's a lot quicker and probably cheaper than the one I showed you. But we're still not seeing things like Imbue Priest really picking up, so save your dust and don't fool around with those when it seems. It does look like Protoss Priest has also seen better days. For the classes we haven't mentioned, starting off with Druid, Imbue Druid is actually looking very solid. This is an interesting list that looks close to what I used to try. Tortolon Traveler is in here so you can fish out what exactly? I guess the Flutterwing Guardians. Not a bad idea, to be honest. It's actually not a bad idea at all. You might want to give that one a try. Straight up Imbue Druid is a lot more fair, sitting at around 56 however with 2000 games, so it's actually very close to a top tier 2 deck. And we have several different iterations of Imbue Druid sitting around those stats, so it's definitely proven. Other than that, I'm not sure there's another great looking Druid out there. With Hunters, if we gotta be completely honest, this Buff Hunter could have made it into the list. I did show this in the last top 5 with the early meta report, so if you crafted this, you definitely didn't go wrong. Token Egg Hunter is still doing quite well, sitting at around 56. The Zerg Token Hunter, same stuff. So Hunter definitely has plenty of different decks to work with as well. It seems like Imbue Hunter is not as powerful as we thought it was initially. The deck really switched gears and it went a lot more aggressive after Armor Demon Hunter got deleted, so yeah, naturally things like Imbue Hunter are not going to be doing as well against super quick decks. For Mage, not that many great things to be going for. There's this Spell Mage going around. It's looking kind of interesting, but it's really not that hot. There's also a Protoss Imbue Mage, Protoss Mage, that kind of stuff, but nothing is really far above 52% win rate, so nothing too broken on that class. Shaman has basically left the chat for a while. Nothing really sparks joy for this class right now. With the Terran Shaman getting nerfed pretty hard, with the Imbue Package Shaman God being pretty lame. So yeah, all around Shaman is taking a breather this expansion. For Warlock, I've been hearing people talk about this Mill Warlock, which is supposedly doing strong. I haven't seen it myself, so I'm not really sure. Location Warlock is still usable, but it's far worse than it used to be. This Wheel Warlock deck is up there as well, but nothing too strong for the class right now. And with Warrior, we have Terran Warrior still being pretty decent, but around 53% decent, so not that hot as it used to be. Isandre Warrior is not that hot either, so yeah, you probably are gonna be better off sticking with Terran Warrior if you really feel like playing Warrior. So that's gonna be it for this top 5, guys. Hope this helps you figure out what deck you want to be bringing to Easy Legend this season. Don't forget you can download Raid from my download link if you want to start playing Raid the right way and support me on my new channel. Thanks for watching, I'm Kris05, and I'll see you in my next video or stream.